Many of us know Foon Suk Wang-do from the movie Three Idiots, the rebel student who preferred practical science over memorizing textbooks. But the actual history of the man who inspired that character contains risks and pressures that a 3-hour film couldn't possibly capture. This is Sonam Wangchuk, a mechanical engineer who chose to use his expertise to address the physical and social crises of the high Himalayas. In this part of the world, innovation isn't a hobby or a clever classroom project. It is the primary mechanism for survival in a desert made of ice. In Ladakh, winter temperatures regularly drop to -20 degrees Celsius. It's a high-altitude desert where the geography is as beautiful as it is lethal. Wangchuk was born in the remote village of Tokbo. There were no schools nearby, so he spent his first 9 years learning basic literacy and life skills directly from his mother in their native tongue. When he eventually moved to a formal school in Srinagar, the transition was jarring. He was suddenly forced to learn in a language he didn't speak, leading teachers to mistake his language barrier for a lack of intelligence. This friction between his natural curiosity and a rigid, standardized system left Wangchuk with a deep skepticism of how schools measure a child's worth, and it would eventually dictate how he redesigned the concept of a classroom. After finishing his degree in mechanical engineering, Wangchuk bypassed the standard corporate path. He returned to Ladakh to solve the problems he had experienced as a student. In 1988, he helped found SECMOL, a campus built specifically for students who had failed their 10th grade board exams. He wanted to create a space for those the system had already discarded. He treated the architecture as an engineering problem. This diagram shows mud structures capturing daytime solar energy. At night, the walls release that stored heat slowly into the rooms, maintaining a livable climate without using a drop of fuel. To make the education as practical as the architecture, the school has no principal. The students themselves manage the daily operations, from the solar power grids to the campus budget. By removing the traditional hierarchy, he demonstrated that students labeled as failures could successfully manage a self-sustaining system. Wangchuk then turned his attention to a localized climate crisis. In the spring, when farmers need to sow their crops, the streams in Ladakh often run completely dry. The water cycle here is skewed. There is a surplus of glacial melt in the summer that causes flooding, but in the critical planting months of April and May, the water remains frozen high in the mountains. Wangchuk's Ice Stupa uses gravity to pipe unused winter water from high-altitude streams to the valley floor, spraying it high into the air. The sub-zero spray crystallizes, stacking into a geometric cone that minimizes sun exposure, preventing premature melting. These stupas effectively act as man-made glaciers, storing winter wastewater in a solid vertical form. When spring arrives, the stupa melts slowly and provides a consistent water supply to the fields below, turning barren patches into productive farmland. This localized solution for irrigation earned him the Rolex Award for Enterprise and brought international attention to the unique water challenges of the region. It is a clear example of how fundamental physics, when applied to a specific environmental problem, can provide a lifeline for communities that might otherwise be forced to abandon their land. But engineering local solutions is only one part of Wangchuk's work. In recent years, he has moved from designing systems to defending them. He has staged public hunger strikes in sub-zero temperatures, demanding constitutional protections for Ladakh's land and its people under the 6th schedule. He's sounding the alarm on rapid industrial expansion and infrastructure projects that threaten to destabilize the fragile Himalayan ecosystem his innovations were designed to support. For Wangchuk, a mechanical solution is only as good as the environment it exists in, and if that environment is destroyed for short-term gain, no amount of engineering can fix it. His life is guided by a simple request: please live simply so that others may simply live. He has shown that the purpose of learning is not just to secure a personal career, but to acquire the skills necessary to protect and improve your own community. That is the legacy of the real Sonam Wangchuk. If his story changes how you think about innovation, share it and look for ways to apply that same practical mindset to the world around you.